morning. You are listening to Table for Two with Naomi Nachman on the Nachum Segal Network. Thank you so much for tuning in on this Friday morning. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Naomi Nachman and I'm about all the food all the time. I love food. I love shopping for it, cooking it, eating at restaurants, anything food related. I'm a kosher personal chef. I give cooking classes. I run chop competitions. I have a cookbook perfect for Pesach. And yes, Pesach is coming. So grab those Pesach books right now from Amazon or your local Judaica stores. Shameless unplugging of the book. So I hope you'll tune in each week and hear about my exciting food adventures, my kosher food traveling, and sharing great ideas and recipes with my awesome guests. I want to hear about your experiences too, so email me, naomi@nachumsegal.com. I love getting emails from you. I love it. Thank you so much. I love when you tag me, when you made something. I love hearing about everything from all my listeners. So thank you so much. Okay, we have a great lineup. If you are watching on our Nachum Segal YouTube channel, it's called Nachum Segal Net on YouTube, you will see in front of me a piled high desk of challahs and granolas and cookbooks. Because today we have two amazing ladies. I'm a big fan of supporting women in business and friends and meeting people. I'm the ultimate networker. And so I have met recently through networking and through schmoozing and just being me. I met two extraordinary ladies, Rochie Pinson, Rebbitzin Rochie Pinson. You get your Rebbitzin title in there.
Or it can just be Rochie.
Oh, she can be Rochie, but kavod.
We're friends here.
Kavod harabanit. To Rochie Pinson, the cookbook author of Rising, the Book of Challah. Extraordinary. We'll talk to Rochie in a minute. And then I have... where's my thing? I know, Aimee Turner, but I'm looking for my... There we go. There's my notes. The second page. I have Aimee Turner, Granolachik. We met at Kosher Feast. Feast and then Fest. But really I met not she herself, but Aimee's product turns up at my doorstep one day. And my girls, like I have a house full of girls and everyone is really, really healthy in my house. Like my daughters are very health conscious. And I'm like, girls, we got granola. And they were like digging into it. I'm like, don't take it. Don't eat it till I photograph it. They know no one's allowed to bring anything to the table or start eating from the table unless it's being photographed, even dinner. I'm sorry. That's the way we roll. And so we met and her product is amazing. And I said, we got to have you on the show. So we finally got it together and got everyone into the studio and we're going to have a great 1 hour show of chit chat. More kosher chit chat right here on the Nachum Segal Network. Okay. I'd like to welcome Rochie Pinson, to the show. Hi, Rochie.
Hi, Naomi. It's great to be here.
I know we finally got it coordinated.
Yes. You would think we were like the president of the United States or something.
Yeah, we're the president.
Till we get to sit down together.
Right. She's the president of challah baking, let me tell you.
Well, we're all the president of something, I think.
Right. So you get to own that title, challah baker extraordinaire.
Oh, okay. Well, you'll taste my challah. You'll let me know.
I will. I already washed. As soon as Rochie walked in, I took the bread baskets off her hand. I washed.
People tend to do that when I walk in the door. They just go wash.
They go wash. They see the bread and they like run.
They're like, we see her. Bread is coming. We better be prepared.
I'm nashing on a pretzel challah. Okay, welcome, Rochie.
Thank you.
So let's talk about you as a child. Were you a big challah baker even as a kid?
Oh my gosh, no! I never walked into the kitchen. I didn't know what went on in a kitchen. In my book, I talk about the story of how I started this whole challah baking thing. And when I was a newlywed, my husband and I traveled to Kobe, Japan, to lead the Jewish community there for a Tishrei, a high holiday season.
Okay.
So my husband had done a lot of traveling in the Far East.
Is that like Kobe beef?
Yes, it is Kobe, like Kobe beef.
Okay.
That's where they raise the cows that get the
very
title
expensive
of
and
Kobe.
delicious.
Right. Have you been there?
Oh, I lived there.
You lived in Kobe?
Wait, you have
oh my gosh, that's
you
amazing. Oh, that's crazy.
Just see our faces.
Okay. That's crazy. Well, I only spent a month there, but it was a big learning experience. And that's where I learned to bake challah, believe it or not, because I arrived a few days before Rosh Hashanah. And, I was, Well, I didn't know that. And then we're speaking with the president of the shul.
Oh, I thought you meant of Japan.
And, oh, yeah, sure. Well, that came next, of course. And I'm like, all innocent. And so where are we going to go get the food for Yom Tov and the challah? And he's like, oh, no, in Kobe, the Rebbitzin makes the challah. And I was like, oh, I'm the Rebbitzin. I was all of like 22. I had no clue. I never walked into a kitchen. I really did not. And it was 2 days to Chag. It was 2 days to Rosh Hashanah.
How much challah did you have to make?
I had to make about 50 challahs.
Okay,
so,
now that's nothing.
Right. Now that's like, I could do that in my sleep. Then that was a tremendous challenge. I mean, the bags of flour there don't even look like flour. Like nothing was familiar. And I had never done this before. So it was panic, but I work very well under pressure.
Okay,
so
good.
This is my general mode. So that was the best learning experience for me. So I did it. I just got to work in that big shul kitchen and I made, 5 batches of 5 pounds.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I'm raising my hand.
Okay. I have that effect on people. They think I'm
No,
the
because it's
teacher.
fascinating. You don't want to interrupt. So you're
I
like
do.
raising your hand.
Oh, my kids don't raise their hand. They don't even hear my voice anymore.
Yeah, tell me about it. Okay, so wait, big kitchen, Kobe?
Kobe.
Kobe,
Mhm.
I gotta say it right.
Yeah.
Kobe. Big kitchen in Chabad there?
Well, it's not a Chabad. It's an old it's
fascinated
an
by
Iraqi congregation, right? It was started by
I was
the
in
Iraqi.
I was in Tokyo.
You were in Tokyo.
Right.
Okay. So in Kobe, it's a small shul. When we got there, this was like 22 years ago. When we got there, it was already, the community was much smaller. A lot of them had left. So, but it was like an Iraqi congregation, a Sephardic congregation. But they knew my husband had done a lot of travels in the Far East. So they knew of him and they wanted him to, they didn't have a rabbi at that point. So they wanted him to come and lead.
Fascinating in itself.
96.
Yes, in 96.
That's when I moved.
That's crazy.
I was pregnant with my first.
I was also,
Aimee, that's
oh my gosh, I was
crazy.
also
I needed
pregnant
you
with
then.
my
I
first.
needed friends.
That's crazy.
Crazy.
Oh, how weird is that? We were there together 22 years ago,
Unbelievable.
and I
26
visited
years.
Tokyo when I was there.
1996 I moved
Yeah.
there.
Oh, that's so
Small world
crazy.
happening right here on
Yeah,
the Nachman
wow. We
Network.
find out we were both in Kobe, Japan, 22 years ago, pregnant with our first children.
Yeah.
Coincidence.
How weird is that?
Wow.
Never
I
a
think not.
coincidence.
Hashgacha pratis. All the way.
Always.
And now you're together again right here at Nachum
There we
Siegel.
go. Look what, and granola and challah brings us together. Who knew?
And me.
And always Naomi.
Naomi.
Okay, so you started off in Japan and then
Yes. So I made my first batches of challah then ever.
you talk
And
Ali.
I was hooked. I loved it. I felt so accomplished. And everybody, yeah, please eat the challah while I'm talking. That makes me so happy. Dip the pretzel challah in the mustard. That's the way to eat it.
Okay.
Oh,
I've got the
Naomi's
mustard.
hogging the mustard.
I'm hugging the mustard.
So that was it. I was hooked. And I really, you know what? My mom always made a beautiful Shabbos every week.
Where did you
growing
grow up?
In Vancouver, British Columbia.
Do you hear her Canadian accent?
Do I?
Hey?
I don't have a
No,
Canadian
you
accent.
do not, actually.
I've lived in New York for 25 years, so.
I live in New York for 26 years. Hello.
Yeah, but Australians like to hold on to their accent because
Yes.
it's so cute.
This one in particular.
Canadian accents are not that worth holding on to. It's not. So I came back. My mom had always made beautiful Shabbos dinners. You couldn't buy anything kosher in Vancouver. You had to cook everything. But there was a bakery.
Yeah, you have
She
stuff
never
now.
made. Now they do have. But
Does
growing
she
up,
still live there?
yes.
Oh.
Now they do have, but
Next time I
not.
go, I'm going to go visit her.
You must. She would love that. She's the ultimate hostess.
I bet you she knows my cousin.
I bet you she does
It's an old
because
time.
Vancouver is small.
Okay, yeah.
So she never made challah. She tried when she was first married. And I think there was like something involved, her mother-in-law, my grandmother, and she was making challah for them. And it was like this epic fail. And everyone was trying to be polite, but it was really, really bad. And I think she was a little traumatized. And she never made challah again. She just always bought challah from then on. And you know, I've actually encountered this so many times through my years of teaching challah baking.
Yeah.
People are scared of
Yep.
challah.
Yep.
They're scared to make. They'll cook everything else. They'll be so adventurous. They'll try new things. And somehow people have a fear of the dough rising. And they just it holds them back. And that's what I love, showing people how forgiving challah is and how easy it is to master, and how there's nothing like a challah that you make yourself.
I agree. I have not bought challahs. Actually, the only challahs I've ever bought in the last 10 years are Yoni's pretzel challahs. I don't know if you know. Have you ever had
sounds
his?
Good. No.
Yoni's pretzel challah. He's been on the show. He makes outstanding pretzel challah. So a big shout out to you, Yoni. But otherwise, I make challah in my sleep. In fact, I was going away last week for Shabbos.
Yeah.
And I did not have to bake challah.
Right.
And somebody asked me to do the 40 names. So maybe we'll talk about that whole thing.
Yeah,
because
sure.
that needs demystifying a little bit.
Yes, sure.
And where it came from and all that. It's for a name. If you gather 40 people together and they all make challah before it doesn't have to be before Shabbat.
Well, yeah, I can clear up any myths.
And it's got a special power.
There's a lot of like voodoo, as you said, surrounding challah.
But they say if, it really helps with a speedy recovery if 40 women, the power of 40 women baking bread, because you make a bracha, a prayer when you
separate the dough.
When you separate the dough, when you bake the bread, that it's like elevates the prayer level of, and you have someone in mind that's sick. If all 40 women have one,
significance of 40.
That
the
person has a quick, speedy
yeah.
recovery. It's like or if they want to have a baby,
to get
married, like
it's really about healness and wholeness. It's about healing and wholeness, I should say. So yeah, challah is all about healing. It's a spiritual bread, so it's an elevated bread. It's sort of a recipe for elevated life, and challah has within it. Challah is really how we connect the mundane to the spiritual, how we recognize the presence of something greater than ourselves in every aspect of our lives. And the dough is the staff of life, and this is like the most basic nourishment and tool for our survival. And by recognizing that our sustenance is really a blessing from above, and that not taking anything for granted, really appreciating the source of all our blessings, that really connects us to the source of blessings and allows us to draw those blessings down into our lives. So there's no magic or mystery about it. It's really the idea of connecting. And through connecting, we recognize that we're always attached to the source of all blessings, and we really allow the blessings to flow down through us. The idea of 40.
Yeah, I'm just.
Yeah. So I think there's a little bit of like. So you know what people get.
He's demystifying a little bit. That and the schlissel challah. We have to talk about that. Well, I
have all of this stuff in my book, by the way, because it's not just a cookbook. It's a book about challah. It's the book of challah.
We're gonna come.
Yeah. And I have, all the skulos, which are like the omens that surround challah. There's, every culture really has a lot of significance surrounding their bread, because bread has always been the staple of survival, and it has so much significance in every culture, and particularly in the Jewish culture because of challah and the idea that that's how we begin our Shabbat meal. It's, it's sacred. It's not just bread. Challah is never about just our own survival and our own sustenance.
Eat after challah anyway.
Exactly. We don't need anything else. That's why I tell people, I'm like, don't bother with all the other stuff. If you make good challah, they're not going to want anything else.
I know, right? Some challah and dips, man.
Yeah, that's it.
Or in this case, challah and mustard.
That's all we need. We're set. There's no point in filling up the table with other stuff. And that's what, challah is the mitzvah. Challah is the high point of the Shabbat meal. So where were we? What were we talking about? Oh, the 40.
The 40. Why 40?
40 is the number of transformation in the Torah. Anytime we're trying to move from one state into another state.
40 weeks of pregnancy?
40 weeks of pregnancy. There you go.
Moving from
40, exactly. The 40 days and 40 nights of the flood. Moses goes up for 40 days and 40 nights to Mount Sinai to receive the Torah.
The mikvah.
The mikvah, exactly. Oh, you know it. She has it all down pat. There's so much. 40 is anytime we go through some kind of radical transformation, the number 40 is there. It's the number
I remember
of transformation.
turning 40.
Yes, exactly. Radical transformation. Not all of it great. Yes, exactly. Yeah, so we're told that there's 40 days until the fetus actually is considered viable.
I was just thinking
right?
that also. Yeah,
40 days. So 40 is the number of transformation, going from one state to another state. So that's where the number 40 comes from. But the truth is that 43 is really more Kabbalistically connected to Challah. The numerical value of Challah, and for anybody who doesn't know, each letter in the Hebrew alphabet is has a number that corresponds to it.
So Chet is 8, Lamed is 30, and
Hey is 5.
5. That's
43.
Oh, okay.
So there you go.
I never thought about that.
So 43 is also the word gam, which means also it's the word for inclusion. So when we want to create wholeness, Challah is there. It's part of healing and wholeness. It's inclusion. So 43 is really a more significant number that's connected with Challah. So next time they tell you to do 40 people doing something together, tell them, no, we need 43.
43.
3 more people.
Done, I gotta get
3 more people.
Oh, that's the new 40.
40. I love that. 43 is the new 40 people.
I think it's 47 is the new 40. I'm just saying. I'm born
my
in
birthday's coming up, so I'm going to go with 43 is the new 40.
Yeah.
Can we make it 43 is the new 33?
Yeah, let's
That's
do that.
better? Yeah.
Let's do that. Let's do that. That's good. Okay, so now we're on the demystifying and debunking the Challah myth. Can you just tell me about the Shlisel Challah?
The Shlisel Challah.
And I know it's in the book as well.
It's
and
in
we're going
the
to talk
book.
about
I'm going to
Rochie's
show
book.
you.
We're going to
Do
dive
we have
into Rochie's book.
Do we have a see, you have 40 women. I have this about 40. Some say this should be done with a group of 43. See, that's Shlisel Challah. Here we go.
What page?
It's on page 330. So
I've got my own copy here. I bought my own copy because I did end up taking the train in.
Oh my gosh.
I drove in.
Okay,
Actually,
good. It's too cold for trains today.
Actually, yeah, it's too cold for everything. Unless you're a penguin.
So I have a lot of sources for this part of the book. Unless you're a penguin, I missed that one.
Yeah, it's good if you're a penguin. Otherwise,
we might all turn into penguins by the end of this weather front.
I'm gonna look like a polar bear if I have this color in front of me.
Well, we have to pack on some
winter weight,
fat, right? Just to keep us warm now.
Yeah,
I think that's legitimate.
I'd like my coat to keep me warm, not like that. It's not going to work.
Don't gain weight eating challah. That's what they say.
On Shabbos.
Today's not actually Shabbos. Okay.
Because the idea is that when you're really spiritually connected, that everything that you're eating is not a physical thing. It's just integrated. Right. There's no waste. Nothing is wasted. It's just fully integrated. They say when the Jewish people were eating the manna in the desert, that they didn't what's a nice way to say this? There was no waste. It was all perfectly integrated into their body, like a newborn baby.
I'll say
that's like a newborn baby that's breastfeeding.
They didn't have to go to the bathroom.
Right, exactly.
That's what she's trying to
Okay,
say.
she's Australian. She's less careful about these things. I'm Canadian. We're very polite where I come from.
Yeah, I'm Aussie. I just say it how it is.
The British colonies, but different ends of the earth.
Yeah, remember we started off as convicts. Okay.
Exactly.
But we digress. Okay. So Shlichzul Challah, which is the first challah that you make after Pesach.
Exactly.
And it's always, everyone got really into it.
Yeah.
And people are making challah more. And then some people
came
saying
back
it's
now.
Everyone's saying it's avodah zarah.
No.
It's can you demystify that? Because people are really I think it's amazing if you can get people to make challah either through the Shabbos project or the Shlisel Challah week. You're getting people to make challah. Don't take away from it.
No, actually, this is one of the only legitimate skulot.
Okay.
And when I say legitimate, I mean has real sources and goes way back. So the earliest recorded source for this custom that we know of is in the book Ohev Yisrael, which is by the Apter Rabbi Avram Yeshua Heschel. And so he actually speaks about this as an ancient custom. In his book, he talks about this custom as being an ancient custom, and he offers various Kabbalistic interpretations for it. We're told that after 40, he writes that after 40 years in the desert, we continue to eat manna until the first Passover in the land of Israel. And that's when the manna stopped falling. So that's when we had to start growing our own sustenance, growing our own food, worrying about our sustenance for the first time. So from that day on, they were eating food that was grown in the land of Israel. And therefore, they started to pray for their sustenance. They started to ask for the blessing of sustenance to come down. So that's why the idea of the Shlisel Challah, which is a key, right? So either people put a key on it or they do it in the shape of the key.
Yeah, I do both. I put one challah has one key wrapped
Right.
in
If you're
foil.
Ashkenazi, you do it like every way possible, just in case.
Right. Yeah.
Right? We want to cover all our bases.
And the other one, the other
OCD
challah I make is
Ashkenazis.
in a key. And everyone's showing all their beautiful pictures on Instagram. Like you can't bake a challah without taking a picture of it.
No, God forbid.
I think it's part of the bracha now.
Yeah.
Just joking.
We have new traditions starting right here.
Right, we're making
Take a
new
picture
Mr.
of your challah. So they started praying for sustenance. So the idea of the key is opening the gates of sustenance. So we pray that the gates of sustenance are open. Another source is in the Mishnah, which is that we're told that we're judged on the grains on Pesach. Pesach, Rosh Hashanah, we're judged on general livelihood. And in the holiday of Pesach, we're actually judged on the grain, on how much grain we're going to receive that year. So our food, our sustenance. So as soon as Pesach is over, we mark that by doing the Shlisel Challah. So there's a lot of different sources.
So it is a thing.
It's authentic. That one's one of the real authentic
like
traditions.
People are saying it's this Easter bread,
Yeah.
bread. I'm like, what?
No.
If you want to serve Hashem and make bread or something, like, just go for it.
No. It's real. It's real. It has real sources. There's also a Sephardi custom where they sprinkle grain in the corners of the house right after Pesach. And
after you've just cleaned your house.
No. It's dirty after Pesach. By the time you're done with
There's
Pesach.
crumbs everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
So they sprinkle the grains also to the idea of, bringing down the blessing for sustenance into your home. Beginning. And, if you think about Pesach as being a time when we sort of cleanse from all our grains, it's like we're starting fresh again. So
I like that.
Yeah. So
Okay, you
go.
heard it right here on the Nachman Siegel Network, all about Shlisel
I know.
Challah and the power of 40. And let's dive now into your book.
Yes.
So how
let's
did
do
this
it.
book come to be?
How did this book come to be?
I'm holding up the book.
After the book came out and everyone started to ask me that question, I was like, whoa, I really should go back to the beginning and figure out, why did I do this? Sometimes you just get so into the project. And going back, well, it was a progression. I didn't start off saying, oh, I'm going to be the person who writes a book on challah. But I was teaching challah classes long before these mega challah bakes became a thing.
Right, that's only 5 years old.
Yeah, it's pretty
Shabbos project
recent.
is not-
It's pretty recent, but it was funny because that's right when I started writing my challah cookbook, and I was like, ooh, I've tapped into something. But I started teaching challah about 15 years ago. We moved out to be the rabbi and rebbitzin of a community to start our own community. We're Chabad. This is what we do. Pioneers.
I love them.
So, I wasn't too adventurous starting off in Kobe. And then I said to my husband, no, we got to go somewhere where they speak English and there's not temples on every corner.
Okay,
I don't think this is
I've been
for
to
me.
Vietnam.
Yeah.
You should see what the Chabad in Vietnam has got to deal
Yeah.
with.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy.
The Chabad in Bangkok is
Yes.
unbelievable. Have you been?
I was just there a few months ago. It's amazing.
Oh my God,
It's
5-story building.
It's incredible.
Held
They serve you food. And
not
it's
normal.
like they keep the prices the same as the street food so that everyone can keep kosher there and you don't have to.
It's an easy community to live in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't have it easy.
No, in Kobe.
Have you been
I
to
had to make
Bangkok,
the
Amy?
challah.
Have you been to Bangkok?
Yeah, it's amazing there. It's amazing. So that's Chabad. So we went out and started this community
Tell them where you
Park
are.
Slope, Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.
Yeah. Yes, there's a need in Park Slope, Brooklyn. So we're in Borum Hill. If you're not familiar with Brooklyn, it's all the same. So I just say Park Slope because that makes it easier for people. But yeah, we had these huge dinners every Friday night, and this was how we met people, and it was beautiful. And at the end of every dinner, I would get at least 5 to 10 requests. Please teach me how to make challah, because everybody would go wild over the challah. And how do you do this? And how do you make challah? And I would say, okay, come over next Thursday, and we're going to make challah together. And that's what I started doing. And the word got out. and people that we hadn't seen for ages would suddenly come out of the woodwork to learn how to make challah. I won't name drop, but there were celebrities who came to learn. I live
Name
in Park.
drop.
No, I won't
Please.
name drop.
Oh, you can't.
But
You'll
we
probably
have.
get into
Yeah,
trouble.
I'll get into. But we live in Park Slope, so highly overpriced neighborhood. You'll get celebrities, and I had incredible visitors popping in for these challah bakes. And I started having this waiting list that was 6 months of waiting to come and bake challah. And it's like, I'm onto something here. People need this. There's such a hunger to go back to this authenticity, to make your home a place that smells like challah.
But bread has become in general,
Yes.
homemaking bread. Like I make
Yes.
sourdough bread now.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm already a baker already, right? I'm already a chef. But
No,
people,
I have sourdough. I demystify it in my cookbook. I have
Right.
sourdough challah.
But people
Yeah.
really, really, really are getting into bread baking. They may
Yeah.
not, or dough. Are you finding that also? That people love to make their own. There's something. I don't love desserts. I'm
Yeah.
not a big dessert and don't make cakes. I don't. But bread or
Yeah.
yeast cakes. There's something that
home.
touches the soul. The neshama
Yeah,
is
it
with
is.
bread.
It is. It's true. And then challah is like the next level, because bread is just your basic survival, and challah's elevated.
It's
Challah's a
Shabbos
way.
survival.
Yeah, it's a way to bring soul into our food, into our homes. And when your house smells like challah, it smells like Shabbos. It
Right.
smells holy. It's the best. It's to walk into a home that smells like challah. There's nothing better. So I was, every time I taught the class, I was finding once you get into something, everything is connected. And I started finding so many parallels with challah and life and spiritual elevation. And I was just collecting and writing. I started a blog because every week when I would
What's
need
your blog?
therisinglife.net.
Oh,
Therisinglife.net. So go check it out. I've been a bad girl about posting lately, but
oh, wait,
I got busy with other things.
I've done 2 posts
Yeah.
in a year. I'm just saying on my
oh,
actual
good.
website.
Someone's worse than me.
Right. I'm terrible. Do you have a
Yeah, but you're busy on other
right, so
yeah,
other platforms, right?
Other
But I
platforms,
found like
exactly.
my website's kind of. Have you?
Yeah, because
Aimee,
I
have you
feel
felt
like-
that.
Beginner at this still.
But I feel like websites are already the past, right? Is that crazy?
Right. If you
I
say
know.
you're a blogger, that means
Yeah.
you have an Instagram account.
Yeah, exactly. People are like, "What's the Instagram account?" I'm not even going to go bother to check out the
That's
site.
how Melinda Strauss, like, she changed it from Kosher Food Bloggers Conference, because you basically had
Yeah.
a blog or website,
Right.
to Jewish Food Media, because
Right.
a blog is not just a internet
Right.
anymore. It's on your phone. It's Twitter. It's
Right.
Facebook,
And that's the
Instagram.
immediacy, To go on to a blog is already more of a commitment. You're going to sit down, you're going to read something. It's a little more commitment. But so I started every week, when I was kneading. And there's something about kneading. It really gives you this time to just be mindful and conscious. Everything else in the kitchen is sort of rushed and you're running around. But when you're kneading that dough, you really have to be present. And I found that all my, my thinking, my inspiration would happen at that time. So I would go straight from the dough to my keyboard. Was not good for my computer, but I spent a lot of time in the Apple store.
You
but
need a Pesach computer.
they
and
were
a
like,
comment-
"What do you do?" When you give the people in the Apple store that genius, and they've seen it all. So I wasn't even embarrassed. I give them my laptop and they're like, "What do you do? Why is there dough in your keys?" I was like, "I don't want to lose the inspiration. I have to go straight from
Just
the
say,
dough."
I'm a chef.
to
You
the
can get away with a lot.
keyboard." So that's what I was doing. And it was just growing. It was rising. So that was it. So I had to do something with it. I had all this great stuff. I started off by writing a book about challah with my classic recipe. And it was a huge hit. People really loved it. And I was getting these requests from these mega challah bakes for 500 at a time, 1,000 at a time. And I realized that if I really wanted this to get into every home and be able to inspire people everywhere, it had to be a beautiful cookbook, because that's how you get
beautiful-
into someone's
and
home.
beautiful it is. Who was your stylist?
Okay, so I am a graphic designer and an artist. So I was my own client.
Okay,
here.
I
Yeah.
see. I see it.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. So
Chani Applebaum also. She's a graphic artist. That's her original training.
Chani,
Yeah.
is she?
Yeah.
Or a photographer?
She's a graphic.
Oh, I
think
didn't
she
know
started
that.
as
I didn't know that.
Chani, correct me if I'm wrong. She started off as graphics and doing web design and all that, and that's
Okay,
how
I
she
didn't
was
even
able
know
to
that.
transition into what she did. And you see that she's creative, and
Yeah,
I
she's
cannot wait
amazing.
to see her book.
Her cookbook is going to be amazing. I'm
Yeah.
speaking to her a lot about it and really excited for it to come out.
But your pictures are so you did your own styling.
Okay, so I did the styling, but I did it with the photographer, and I was a little bit crazy. You know, when something is your baby, it's like nothing is too much for your baby, right?
Of course.
This book was my baby. So
We spoke about that, right?
Yeah, I brought in a photographer from Portugal because I was following her on Instagram for 2 years. And every time she would post a picture, I was like, my vision. Like, nobody, you know, when someone just gets your vision, I was like, that's exactly what I want. So I brought her in and put her up. She had an adventure in Park Slope for 2 weeks. And we shot that. We had the best time. So that was the adventure of my photo shoot.
I love. I mean, your photos are really, really like beautiful. And
Really beautiful.
now, after
you.
putting
Thank
together a book and having such a I got to work with Miriam Pascal, so
Oh,
talented.
she's great.
That I've got to see like behind the scenes,
Right.
like literally
Isn't it
watching my
amazing?
book, my baby. But this is so amazing, and you have little sketches, and you have the
Yeah.
flower across the table.
Yeah, and then I went and because I couldn't leave well enough alone, I had to go and design every single title by hand. And do all this hand photography, typography. Just
You drew this?
yeah. Well, I didn't draw the illustrations. I had someone do the illustrations, but I did all the titling, and the section. Yeah, and every section actually, every title, every section of different challahs has a hand done titling.
God.
So
I
if
wanna-
you see like
We're
the
all
beginning of the
flipping
challah.
through the book here in
Yeah.
the studio. I love this Tu B'Shvat challah that you have a picture of
Yes,
in the book. A beautiful
and I brought
spread.
one for you
Can-
today
can we
because
take a
that's the
look?
next holiday coming up is Tu B'Shvat. So this one actually was a really hard recipe to develop because I wanted to get all 7 minim, the 7 fruits of the land of Israel, which we celebrate and we make blessings on Tu B'Shvat. And Tu B'Shvat is coming up. Is it a month? It's a little less than a month. Oh
Well,
no!
when they listen to this, so
It's-
today this
no,
is airing.
It's a little, no, it's more than a month.
No, I'll tell you
Is
when
it?
it is. It's January
No.
31st. It's
Yes,
January 31st.
Yes, it's January 31st. You're
okay,
right.
and everyone
Yeah.
is listening to this. I'll give today's date of today's air
It's a
date
Tuesday night,
is
January
today's
30th.
air date is January 12th. So it is 2 weeks.
Right.
2 weeks. January 31st, Tu B'Shvat.
So this recipe was, I said, I have to figure out how to get all 7 without it being gross and actually with it being delicious. Like it has to be special.
Right, so let's count. Chita.
So wheat
That's
was easy.
obvious.
That was easy. So
Yeah.
I did a whole wheat so you'd feel a little bit more of
Texture,
the,
chita.
you know,
Yeah.
you'd feel the wheat more.
Do you want to open up the
Dates.
Dates.
Oh, wait. Barley. All right. So I'll tell you what's inside. Dates.
There are
I
7
used
species. But
Ceylon.
Sheva Minim are 7 species of Israel. Israel grows 7 different species that are very holy to us. So they are the following.
So they are wheat, barley, dates, grapes, pomegranate, fig, and
There's always that one.
what am I missing?
Pomegranate, and we said pomegranate.
No, we said pomegranates,
barley.
barley, dates. No, it's
Come on, Instagram.
wait, come on.
Figs.
Wait, no, what's in
Okay.
here? I know
Minim,
it. I
minim,
know
here.
it. Oh, olives. There you go.
Olive oil.
Olives.
Okay.
Okay, so I did. It has olive oil, Ceylon date syrup, which is amazing. If you've ever used that to sweeten
When they
food,
say the land of milk
it's
and honey,
incredible.
they don't mean bee honey. They mean date,
date
honey.
honey. Exactly. It's date honey, and oh my God, if you've ever picked a date off the tree in Israel,
I've never
they
done it.
Drip. My mom is Israeli, so I've spent my childhood hearing her cry about how awful the fruits are outside of the land of Israel.
It's
Because
actually true.
When you grow up and you can pick a dripping date off the tree, you know, nothing else compares. So date syrup, which is amazing, and it also gives this like caramelized, brown, golden throughout this challah. So it's beautiful. I have a fig paste filling, which is amazing. So this is like the Fig Newton of challahs. Yeah, it's so good. It's so good. So I make this fig paste, and I have the recipe in there. Oh, I forgot to bring you. I had a jar of it. Okay.
Of what?
I'll give it to you another time. The fig paste. I made you a jar of it. So you fill it with that fig paste. I have barley flakes and pomegranate arils on the top. And
I'm going to hold this up to the
raisins
camera.
inside. So
Look how
that's
she presents it. Okay,
so
can we
that
get a zoom in on this?
But you know what? We have to slice it because you have to see how gorgeous it is. When you slice it open, there's these swirls of the fig inside. It's so pretty.
We're not going to slice this open.
Not on the radio.
We're going to do it
That.
on Tu B'Shvat for our Tu B'Shvat show.
Right. And it freezes great.
We
You
are
can
going to
put it
have
in the
a
freezer.
crazy, amazing Tu B'Shvat show. And I love that you bought everything in baskets. Where'd you get these baskets?
I spend a lot of time in home goods.
It's
dangerous.
dangerous.
Well, you know what? I said that or therapy, so it's much cheaper.
No, it's not.
I don't know. Depends on your therapist.
when I go to Home Goods, nothing's cheap.
Yeah.
I went
Well,
to my...
it is cheap. You can get these baskets for like
I-
$5.
Oh, okay. I went to
know?
my friend's store in Muncie, One Tabletop. We had her on the show 2 weeks ago. Everyone go follow her, check her out, because I went up to her store in Muncie. She has such beautiful things. She doesn't have baskets. She has like tableware.
Yeah.
So for your Tu B'Shvat table,
Yeah.
oh my
Oh.
God, you can go crazy
Love it.
buying beautiful dishes and colors and vases and floral arrangements she
Oh my
organizes. Like, oh my God. So
Wow.
everyone go check out One Tabletop out there in Pomona. And if you, she always tells me
Pomona.
that when you talk about my store, tell them they get $100 free shipping over $100. So big shout out.
very
She always
nice.
does that for
Very
people
nice.
who
One
listen to the
Tabletop?
show. One Tabletop.
Very nice. Sounds exciting.
Yes, because
I
I
always
love
these things.
I love my table.
I love the
looking
presentation.
pretty.
It's all about the presentation.
And look how beautiful you just made
Yeah.
that look. That's
and just
stunning.
putting it in a basket.
Right?
That's all
Like
it
I would have
takes.
bought it wrapped in silver foil in a gourmet glatt bag.
Right.
Look how you did it.
It's got to be in a basket. It's got to be in a basket. Challah in a basket. Classic. So yeah. So I developed, a recipe for each holiday. I have recipes from all over the world.
I love the Yemenite one.
Yeah.
And then, right, there's
I have
Yemen.
2 Yemenite ones. You know what?
Oh, you also have pumpkin challah.
I
You also
really
have a
was
pumpkin
very careful. I wanted this to be a book about challah, not bread. So it's not a bread book, it's a challah book. So I really researched the traditions, the challah traditions all over the world. I wanted to know, what do they serve? If you were in, Iran 100 years ago, what would they serve for Shabbat?
Or
What would
Bukharian.
Or Bukharian.
I'm just looking.
Right.
I like the
Persian.
one.
Persian, right? That's the Iranian. I have the Iraqi pita. I have, and this is what they would serve for Shabbat. This wasn't just their everyday bread. This was their, ceremonial Shabbat bread. So,
Rochie, this is amazing. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I
This was
can't
a lot
believe-
of fun,
We
this
washed
project.
before the show started so we could
Yeah.
get into the bread. As
Just
soon as
get right
Rochie walked
into
in,
it.
we ran and we washed and we had some bread. So everything looks amazing. She has a babka there.
right. That's another section in my book. What to do with the leftover
Dough. Right.
or extra challah. I have all
right.
kinds of things.
Because my
to do
batch
with
makes
extra-
6 challahs, and I don't always
Yeah.
need 6, so I probably should make 3 or 4 challahs and 2 babkas, right?
Oh, you probably should.
I probably should. Maybe I
Yeah.
probably shouldn't. 'Cause,
I know. But if you're going to make a babka, you got to make 2 because someone's going to be
absolutely.
jealous if they don't get your babka.
Make one and give one. I like to do that.
Yeah, the pita is great. It's not a pocket pita. It's a Iraqi pita, so it's like a
To make that.
stone baked. It's great.
All right, Aimee, you're up next, mate.
Yeah,
This is Table for Two with Naomi Nachman on the Nachum Siegel Network. ZK, my chair is going down. I'm falling. See where the microphone is? Slowly, my chair has sunk. So I'm going to stand up when you
and here
fix
we are
that
talking
chair.
about rising.
Here we are. He rose me up on the chair. Aimee,
No, the challah makes us rise.
we've had Aimee Turner sitting here. Aimee sitting in the studio
Hello,
with us
everyone.
and listening and tasting and talking and sharing with us.
I
But
like being an audience.
but Aimee, you have your own story,
my own
and now
story.
you get to share it with us. It was really nice meeting you back at Kosher Feast and then Kosher Fest. I definitely feel like I'm
Thank
thinking
you.
again. Okay, doesn't matter. We'll push past. Okay,
Thank you for having me.
my pleasure. Thank you for sending me your goodies and then getting to know you. So let's talk about how you got into this. What's your,
So,
MO?
we all have a story, right?
Yes.
So
We know you grew up in Japan or you lived in Japan.
So, okay, actually, I grew up. My father had a farm upstate
Cool.
with cows and horses. So I was always in that natural, healthy lifestyle living.
Outdoors.
We had outdoors, we had gardens, we had vegetable gardens. I ended up moving to Japan. I was pregnant with my first, and again, always busy in the kitchen. Not any kosher. There were no kosher restaurants there. No, I mean we had Chabad. We didn't have Chabad yet. I was a Chabad at the time.
Really, that's amazing.
So
What do you mean? You
I wasn't Chabad, but
you stepped in as the Chabad Rebbitzin.
Yes, I
You
was.
channeled
I was the mikvah lady.
Amazing.
I became everything overnight, and so did my husband.
Amazing.
It was like a one-man band.
It's so cute.
And we had a few kids there. Moved home, had a couple of more kids, and January 2006, my husband had gotten sick. That was the beginning. It's a good story, though. The ending of the story is great. It's all good.
I like good stories.
Right. My husband had gotten sick, and I was pregnant with my fourth, and I realized I needed to clean out my house from all dairy, sugar, and meat. So I met with a gentleman. His name is Bob Spear, and he is like a guru of the macrobiotic world. And he taught me how to start cooking medicinally and clean for my husband and my family. So I kept thinking to myself, wait, how am I going to be doing this? Like, I have kids, they have friends come over. How am I actually going to make food fun and delicious when really candy, there's nothing better than candy to kids, you know? I was hit, so that was January. February, it was Purim. And I said, whoa, I really need to come up with something creative because I wasn't doing candy. Candy was no longer a thing in my house.
Wow. And where are you at this point?
So I'm 6 months pregnant. And
Which country?
I'm in America. I'm in New Jersey.
States.
I'm back in the States.
New Jersey, I've heard of that.
I'm in New Jersey. I'm in Englewood. And I'm trying to figure out exactly what to do for Challah Manos. And my kids are like, oh, let's do the yellow theme. Let's do yellow jelly. Everything was about theme, right? We're still racking
themes.
our brains about
I don't know. I have
Purim
easy.
and
I just
themes.
do challah.
I also
Right?
actually.
Everyone
wine.
wants to outdo each other with the
gosh,
themes and
it's
who's got the
ridiculous.
cutest, who wants to look like they're not doing, like putting too much effort into it, even though they're racking their brains all night, right? So I started making all different types of cookies and cakes, and everything was, you know, made with maple sugar or brown rice syrup or, you know, sweetened naturally. I then started giving out granola. I figured, you know, granola is pretty basic. People like granola, but I needed to make it more like a clumpy, clustery cookie. I figured if it's more like a cookie and kids can eat it and grab onto it, it could be a thing instead of, you know, just kind of sprinkling it. Yeah. So I made like 200 baskets my first year, and I gave it out with berries and yogurt. I know you don't like yogurt, but
Everybody knows I don't eat yogurt.
I'm not selling yogurt.
Everybody knows.
So it was about 6:30 in the morning. I woke up my kids and I said, we have to get the Challah Manos out before Megillah, and we need to get it out in the morning so everyone can enjoy it for breakfast.
Right.
So
Were they into it?
Everyone was into it. I started getting feedback from different families like, oh my God, my kids now, they wait every year for your Challah Manos. They wait, they devour, they're all looking for the granola. And I was like, really? Like the granola, you know, made with pure maple syrup and all natural? And they were like, I don't know what it is, but my kids dive into that before the candy and before the sweets and before the cupcakes and before all that. So I was like, all right, you know what? I'm onto something. And I found myself giving it away and not being able to keep up with the demand. All my friends were asking me, oh, do you have any extra granola? Did you make any extra this week? And I started, you know, it's just it became a staple in my house. I started making it with, you know, in the winter with warm cooked apples. And I started grinding it up and using it as, you know, crusts for pies.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah, I started, you know.
Granola crust.
Granola crust.
Have you guys heard of that?
So good.
You guys
like, no, I've never heard of granola.
I would grind it in my food processor, and I started, you know, on Shavuos I would make a tofu cheesecake. It happens to be delicious, but I
have a tofu cheesecake. Yeah,
I
great.
would use it as in my spring form.
So you don't. So wait, you're dairy free as well.
Dairy free, sugar free, meat-free. And I have Shabbos company on a weekly, not every week, but I have kids at my house on a weekly basis. And I never made the announcement in my house. My kids never knew that I transformed my house. But I have to tell you, the granola and the cookies, it's basically the granola that I started making.
Let's eat some.
Really became the focal point of
The eating
it saved
show.
me.
It's not a food.
It happened to have saved me. It saved me from being able to give something to the kids and
So
their
this
friends.
is, look at this. It looks like a cookie,
So
but it's
it's
granola.
like
It's like a cookie.
I'm
Wait,
gonna have
hold
some.
on. Yeah.
What?
This is
Peanut
peanut butter.
I want
Okay.
peanut butter.
You
Okay,
take that one.
So we have.
See, I'm consistent. I'm consistent.
We have, okay, so this is Autumn Crunch. This is more like a gingerbread. We're changing
yeah.
the name to gingerbread.
Yeah.
Ooh,
You,
gingerbread.
This is
this
gingerbread.
smells like
This is gingerbread.
Thanksgiving in a box.
That's it. Oh, I like that. That's a good name. And this is original. It's Mizonos. There's whole wheat pastry flour in there. But I am coming out with a gluten-free.
The professionals are talking to each other about flowers.
Yes, the different
like that.
flours.
Oh my
So I've been.
Oh, this is so good.
So this is it.
You know what?
We have peanut butter. Every 2-3 weeks, I have another flavor that I've been coming out with.
It's like
so good.
I love
It
crunch
tastes homemade.
You.
It doesn't taste like it came from a store.
or a package.
It's like it came out of the oven
This
now.
is so
So that-
delicious.
How does it say so crispy?
So, how does it say so crispy? Okay, firstly and most importantly, I think the packaging is crucial. It's a very tight seal. I'm actually working on a different package because I'm getting feedback that everyone likes the clumps. Everyone likes the clusters. Mm-hmm. So I started making granola bark. And that's how I'm going to be selling it. I'm selling it in a wider container.
Yeah, so you can have bigger pieces. I'm loving that
'Cause
idea.
I'm finding that I'm breaking
one?
breaking it up. And
Oh, I had that
I
one.
don't need to break it up as much when I have.
I want to try a different one.
Oh my gosh,
This
is
happens
really
to be
insanely good.
Danielle Renov's favorite.
Shout out to you, Danielle. You
Her
got
coconut.
quite a few shout outs.
Yes,
My good
this
friend.
Yeah,
All right.
she's great.
All right.
So
What's this one again?
So that one is coconut.
Vanilla coconut. Yeah, I'm a big
Vanilla
coconut girl.
coconut. I have I was
Wait,
reading
wait,
the halava.
Oh, you have a halva.
So I have a halava flavor.
So
Wait,
cool.
can you hear the crunch?
It's so crunchy. I'm missing flavors.
So-
Can I
Let
just
me
tell
see,
you
what is
one
that?
thing, Amy?
This is- yeah.
Sometimes you have crunch and it's so crunchy and sharp it scrapes your mouth.
Yeah.
Yes.
No,
This is crunchy
melts
and
in your mouth.
melts in your mouth with a good crunch.
Yes.
And that's what it's all about. This is amazing. I'm going to hold it up to the camera so everyone can see.
It's so good. Is everyone watching me eat? I just
Everyone's
realized.
watching you eat.
No
worries.
I forget that
I'm
we're on
enjoying it so
camera.
much. I forgot that I was on camera.
Right.
Can I just say this
Right, I
is
forgot.
an eating show besides being a talk show.
Oh my
This
god.
is so good.
Thank you.
Yum,
Thank
yum,
you. So there's so much you can do with it. I mean, you could really make a whole cookbook out of granola.
Really?
There's so much that can be done to it. I've put it in little cupcake tins, and I've made little cups.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
you can put a scoop of
Ice cream.
coconut milk ice cream, non-dairy, sugar-free, made with brown rice syrup ice cream.
Mm-hmm.
Do you make that?
I don't make it.
What company has
I
that?
don't make it.
Oh, there's
There's
some good
companies.
coconut ice
Yeah,
cream.
there's
I only
So
know
Delicious. There's
Oh,
different.
so
ones.
yeah. I've had that.
There's
And Enlighten also.
There's what's the name of the coconut one? I always have it
Is that
in my house.
Enlighten?
Enlightened.
There's a coconut ice cream that's
Yeah,
amazing.
the problem is it's got sugar.
Oh.
Anything with cane sugar. So I try and buy.
So what's
ice
your
cream with brown
sweetener?
rice- Brown rice syrup, maple syrup, coconut sugar.
If you were to give us some advice to say I'm a mom, I got a little kids. Some of my kids are big. They got healthy on their own. I didn't have to do too much, and I'm overall pretty healthy eater. What advice would you give someone who's looking to, it's just January of a new calendar year. Everyone's trying to get a little healthier. What big piece of advice would you give them about, if you're going to take something out of your diet or switch it up?
I would say refined sugar. It's such an easy substitute. I mean, it's
Take
1 to
sugar
1.
out.
You could substitute coconut sugar, brown rice syrup. All these sugars are processed differently in the body. And, we all talk about being the best moms and being the best moms. And it didn't hit me until sickness came into my home. And thank God everyone's healthy and everyone's great.
Thank
and
God.
It's,
Baruch Hashem.
Baruch Hashem. But at the end of the day, we work so hard for our families. And it doesn't take that much more effort to make one little change. One little change. And we're all cooking. It takes an effort to cook. No matter what you're cooking,
Right.
there's effort.
So if you were going to take sugar out, you would replace it with, say, maple syrup?
Maple syrup, maple sugar, and it has a delicious flavor. It's more expensive. It is.
Right.
But we're all spending a little extra on what it is that we love.
That's worth spending on.
Right? And for Shabbos and for special treats. Kids come to my house now and they're eating popcorn. They're eating tortilla chips with salsa. They're eating nuts. They're eating dried fruit. Not the dried fruit with the sugar.
Can I just tell you something? When guests come to me for Shabbos, they'll bring like a candy platter for my nuts. After lunch, I always leave the platters on the table for the kids in the afternoon to snack on. And I always have cut up fruit that I make. So if I leave out a nash platter, candy platter, and a fruit platter, the fruit platter will go and the candy always stays. Because we feel like...
Why is it that we have it?
Right? Like, why do we need that? The kids don't even like it. It's so full of junk that I call fruit God's candy. Right? He made something sweet. That's dessert. And but that those candies from they love the fruit.
They love the fruit, but we get platters, we get candy. I mean, my house is full of kids at all times. I take the candy and I put it in the basement. And if the kids want to go down, candy is second fiddle in the house. You want candy, go to the basement. Be a little mouse and go get your candy.
Right.
But I think that's the healthy way, because if you forbid anything, it becomes,
the kids sneak it in.
The forbidden,
If I said no granola.
Yeah.
But the truth is, this granola.
You don't have to say no. They're just going to beg for it.
I don't say this is healthy, delicious granola.
Right.
I mean, all the kids love it. They love it.
It's amazing.
They eat it for breakfast with milk, with almond milk.
Right.
I would live on this stuff.
I'm thinking.
Do you sell it in stores?
I put it on my Instagram.
Really?
I'm very new to Instagram. I have to start posting.
Aimee,
I'm gonna
you're doing
follow you.
a great job.
I'm working
You've
on it.
You've just started.
Every
You're
day.
doing very
Every day
nicely.
Absolutely. Listen,
Everyone
I
go
love
follow. Go follow Granolachik right now. Right now. Grab your phone.
Granolachik with no C, by the way.
with no C.
Yeah, and then Rochie Pinson right here.
At Rochie
Nachman
Pinson.
Siegel Network. Make sure you're following us. I know you already all
yes.
follow me. I know.
But I find
It's
that
my show.
I represent.
Of course.
I represent all of us. I represent the moms who want to feed their kids healthy. And how often are you trying to feed them the vegetables and whatever else? This is just as
I want to know, and I hear these questions coming through the radio waves. Where do we get your product?
Okay, so I am now at Gourmet Glatt.
Woohoo!
I'm at Gourmet Glatt in Cedarhurst.
That's my store.
I'm in Julio's
Where's
in Teaneck, New Jersey.
Oh, good.
I started with them. I'm at Grandin Essex in Bergenfield.
Do you have a distributor?
I'm working on that and changing. I'm actually thinking about you helping me out.
Ooh,
I'm
Rochie.
actually changing my label.
Yeah. I would tell you granola, you think of the stuff that you sprinkle on yogurt. But this is like granola bark. Actually is a better name for it because
and I
this
like
is
the name bark because it's
right,
like an
right.
You're not going to change your name Granolachik. That's so you.
Yeah, but that could be the
to say-
company name, not the product name.
Right, agree.
But I have to say that I did come out this week in my testing kitchen.
Where is that?
Yeah,
your kitchen in Inglewood, or you actually have a testing kitchen?
I bake out of a commissary, and I have to, give kudos to Kenny Yeager at 5 Star Caterers.
Sure.
He's excellent, and he has given me
He's in
space
Teaneck, right?
in his facility in Totowa.
Oh, okay, but it's I feel like they're a team.
It's in Totowa, New Jersey.
Okay.
And so awesome. I'm working on low calorie. This is 160 calories a serving, which is absolutely not crazy.
Yeah, that's not crazy.
How much is a serving?
A serving is a quarter of a cup. It's almost like 2 cookies.
Okay.
Right.
It's almost like eating 2 cookies.
Yeah, you can have that with your coffee, and
yes,
that's
absolutely
great breakfast.
But I find that people like to eat the tub. So I'm coming up with
We are
Like
Ameri-
portion control.
We are Americans after
like
all.
that
Super
ice
size.
cream. That ice cream that's out there where they give the calorie for the tub.
Yeah, you're going to do that for that.
I'd like to do that.
But have you thought about doing single serve snack sizes, like the 100-calorie packs?
Yes, I have. I'm
And I
working
love the
now
idea
with
of
a gentleman who
crumbling
he
it up and
actually has a
serving it.
machine that pumps out those little bags with zero effort.
Right.
Yeah, I like the 100-calorie pack because I would literally
But
keep
you
one
won't
in my
have any,
bag, keep
there's
one in
no
the
clusters though. Then you're losing your cookie. But I'm trying to figure out.
like
That's
a little.
okay though,
Yeah,
right?
You want like
Just a
something
little
to nash and
nosh.
Yeah,
grab.
that would be
Yeah.
a great
You know,
thing
like
to have in your
just a
bag.
little
Yeah.
nosh.
Like I know I quite often eat breakfast on the railroad when I'm coming into the studio. I take
Yeah.
my coffee. I live up the block from the train. Take my coffee with my cup, with my lid, and I'd like one of your granola
A
100
little
packs, and
100
I eat on
pack.
the train when I'm coming to the
Absolutely.
Lower East Side.
So I'm working on a high protein, low cal. So if I do something like that, it'll have like 15 grams of protein. So you feel like it's a meal replacement.
Right.
Full.
Right.
Right.
Excellent.
So that's what it's about.
Excellent.
It's also
and
about
gluten-free. You're going to do gluten-free, right?
gluten-free. I'm working on now as well. Just it's pricey.
Yeah.
Really? Why? The flowers,
the
right? The
flowers.
flowers.
And the gluten-free oats.
Why is
very
that?
expensive.
I need to know what. Do you know why?
Gotten better. It's definitely gotten better. But
It's gotten better. It's
Maybe I could get some information.
yeah. You
from
guys can all chit chat.
Right?
This is a networking
Yeah.
meeting here today,
Yeah.
right?
The Bob's Red Mill makes such a good one, but
That's true.
very pricey.
Yeah.
Very
I've
pricey.
made like one bag. Even spelt is crazy money.
Oh my! Testing the recipes for the gluten-free challah in my book, that was the most expensive recipe testing.
Yeah.
I had to go through a lot of that stuff. It was really
Listen, we spend money on,
Yeah,
the
it's
latest
worth it.
sweatshirt, the latest this, a little extra on
Yeah.
your
I'm
kids
with you.
and your family.
I'm with
yeah.
you.
Our health is nothing else
I have a
matters
beet
if we don't have our
flavor that
health.
I came out with lots of
Beet.
antioxidants. It almost looks like cherry. And the
Oh, which
kids
one?
a beet flavor. The kids
Oh,
devoured
beet.
it,
Amazing. Is it? And it's red.
and it's red,
That's fun.
and it's excellent.
Natural red.
It's a natural red. It's beet sugar.
That is very cool.
I've never
beets
seen
are
that.
huge now, right? Everyone's
Beets
talking
about
about
a
beets
comeback.
now.
Beets were so like
Yeah, beets were borscht.
in Australia.
Right.
We eat a lot of beets in Australia. We call it beetroot.
Right.
We put a slice of beetroot into your hamburger. Like, it's very Australian to do that.
Oh, interesting.
But otherwise, like you didn't really, people didn't really do much. And now beets are so in.
Beets
I
are.
make beet hummus
Yes.
and beet slaw, and it just there's so
And
much going
chocolate
on.
cake is made with beets. It gives it that red velvet. There's so many natural
wow.
Ah,
fruits and vegetables out
great
there that
idea.
are used in baking.
could you
Avocado,
use beet juice in your challah to make it pink?
Probably.
beet
Let's
powder?
Beet
Probably.
powder.
You can buy beet
And does it
powder.
have a
That's
flavor?
very cool.
It's sweet. It's a very mild flavor.
Ah,
But
beet powder.
that's for
Everyone
Purim.
look out for
Purim.
some beet challah.
And
I actually
matcha.
got a request. Have you heard of these Barbie lawyers? These like two Orthodox Jewish girls who wear all pink, and they're these high criminal lawyers. Anyways,
Never heard
they're
of them.
criminal defense. Anyways, so I got a call from this producer that they want to do this show, and they want me to make pink challah with them. I said, seriously, pink challah. But
Are they real lawyers?
I
I
have
was
a
like,
lot- I
yeah,
have
they
a lot
are.
of
They're
sugar.
they're interesting characters. But wouldn't that be
Great.
funny? There's an idea. That's how we can
I
get
just
it
have
pink.
to say, I think it's ironic that you have chosen the challah baking queen here with me, because that was the whole beginning of my healthy lifestyle.
By
When
leaving
when
bread.
my husband was diagnosed, thank God he's fine and healthy, I started baking challah immediately, and I changed over my
So
house.
interesting.
And now
Those are
you're
you-
here with me,
So interesting.
and you're asking me how I got started, and it's all right here.
That's
I
very
knew you
cool.
two would
That's
be a
incredible.
good match.
There you go. This is amazing.
And the whole Japanese
It's
thing.
unbelievable.
It's crazy.
Oh, so did you have a girl or a boy in Japan?
Oh, I had two boys.
What was your oldest?
This is-
Benjamin?
A boy.
Benjamin. Yeah, I had
So
two
he's
brisses
20.
there.
So he's 20.
He's 22. He's 21. He'll be 22 in April.
Okay, so my
I
daughter's
also had a
turning.
kid
My
there.
daughter's turning 21.
Not in Japan. I also have a kid the same age.
Oh, really? In 97?
And mine
I had
was born
96.
I'll have a child in 97.
96.
I had 96.
So my two
I was a
boys
little
were
earlier in my
born
pregnancy, I guess.
Aiku Byoin. Where were yours born?
Mine were, no,
Oh.
Vancouver and New York.
Okay.
I I'd won in Australia.
Did you?
Yeah. My second daughter's born in Australia. Guys, it's a wrap today.
Oh, we could go on all day.
Incredible. Wow, I am blown away. What a day I had today. We have a giveaway. Oh, my God. Giveaway, quick. The last one, taking 1 extra minute. We have a giveaway. Rochie's book. You want this book? Follow Rochie on Instagram, Nachman Siegel Network, and me. Or if you don't have Instagram, you can email me, Naomi@nachamsiegel.com, and you can win Rochie Pinson's book. So I hope you tuned in all the way to the end to hear the giveaway. This is Table for Two with Naomi Nachman on the Nachman Siegel Network. We hope that you will stay listening to music right up to Lichtbenching, sponsored by our friends at Kedem. Mark Zomick takes the air right now with music up until Lichtbenching. Okay, I think I said that twice. Good Shabbos!